Hey, what's good? We back in the lab, you know what I'm saying? I got a very special guest today, man, my boy. True Gordon. What up, True?
Man, what's good, Fury? How we making it, brother? How we
Hey,
holding?
they don't know we got a long history though.
Yes, very.
You know, but we gonna take it back, you know, because I want to get some info I might not even know about. So we
Okay.
gonna take it back and kind of get your backstory first, so let everybody know where you from and all that.
Man, I'm from Oxford. Grew up in Batesville, so I'm gonna say I'm from Batesville, but it's between the two. Uh, really growing up in the area. Started out a lot of my family, the Gordons, from the Abbeville area, and the music thing, man, it's a family thing for me. Our roots go all the way back to gospel, oddly, with the Soul Consolators. like this,
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, they used to do a lot of drive and quartet music. My uncle Nathan Neil Gordon. Then you have Mike Gordon, who's a phenomenal singer, pastor now, and a slew of others who dabbled in that music thing. Me on the forefront. I think I was the first quote unquote rapper of them all. I didn't grow up playing the instruments or none of that. Music was my therapy. I got in a lot of trouble growing up, as we know. So, the thing that I needed a crutch for was the spoken word aspect. Started as poetry, then I had the trauma happen, and then we, you know, start making it rhyme a little bit. Look deeper into poetry, up the vocab, and voila.
Right. So tell them a little bit more about like growing up, and you know what I'm saying. You kind of gave them a little bit, but just tell them
Yeah.
how you got into music. And it sounds like the church might have had an influence on you too.
Well, oddly, man, it did, but it was an adverse thing. Growing up in the gospel aspect, I think I can speak for many when I say you felt judged. When you hear the whispers of, oh, that, I don't want my kids around him, he stay in trouble, or not him, he bad, or, it started making you have this resentment towards the church. So, it made me not want to do anything gospel, oddly. It made me rebel. And then when I started having the losses, like the deaths, I had multiple deaths hit me. Close friends, close relatives, all peers. So these are young folks. These ain't, losing granny and them. This is like my partner dying, my first cousin dying, my best friend dying. It's like, dang. All in all, what ended up happening was I needed a crutch. And oddly, we started a movement in high school, which was the My Crown movement. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So back then, I started rapping heavy when I was in alternative school, oddly. And there's a guy who's a journalist for the Miami Heat now. His name's Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace used to be an intern for Ole Miss. He come through mentor. He Suaviet, guy named E. They'd come through and mentor us and be like, yo, you gotta have a life plan. You gotta have this, you gotta have that. And oddly, during that time, although I stayed in trouble, the grades were still nice. So I started doing dual enrollment while I was in high school. So, in alternative school, which is odd. But there I discovered different writing patterns, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it started piecing together. So I had a strong infatuation with speed rap, as you all know. So the whole do or die movement, anything Midwest, Twister, do or die, Buster, even back then, Bone Thugs, anything that was piecing up multiple syllable words, I was infatuated with, especially Twister, because Twister was still articulate. It wasn't just a lot of
Right.
slipping, dipping, tripping. It was
Mm-hmm.
actual, like emotions to the rhythm of a hi-hat. Take a puff and lie back. Let me stimulate your mind, body, and soul. Like it had this cadence to it, to where I was like, yeah, that shit nice. I want to learn how to do that, and it just made me dive deeper. And then, the better I got at writing patterns like alliteration and assonance, the poetic aspect, the more research I started doing on delivery, and that's where the battle rap started kicking in heavy. Because back then, you didn't have Smack URL in it. You had to really find underground mixtape battles, and they were ass low key. Like
Mm-hmm.
they just because of the deliveries, but you'd find some like the early pioneers. Like back then, Mook was nice. Of course, You know, you had Reed Dollars. People didn't know back then. Reed Dollars was nice. You know, Sirius Jones was cool. He was more comedic. You know, I wasn't a fan of Jen and all them, but like, it's just different guys I could look at and say, all right, I'm gonna gravitate towards this, and then you know that started molding the sound and the delivery and the approach, and it really made me hone in my skills lyrically. But I wasn't producing then though. I was just really rapping.
So did you actually participate in battle rap?
Yeah, man. Okay. On a smaller scale, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. Up and through college, you know, that was one of my focal points. Like being able to deliver off top. A lot of people don't get it. Like there's different ways to approach it. Like you have the freestyling, which is something that somebody's written. They just don't have a designation for it, so it's free. Then you have other guys who are creative. They're off top. They can pull elements and be articulate and illustrate whatever they're portraying. And really, the better you get at it, the more comfortable you get at it. As I had gotten, I had learned how to set up rhyme schemes, set up motive, and then deliver it. And it just changed everything. Like if you listen to me, you'll know that everything I say is vividly visual. Like when you hear it, you see exactly what I'm talking about. And that's always the goal. You know, as musicians, we do the impossible. We take something that's all auditorial that nobody ever seen before and say it to make everybody see it at the same time.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, we do the impossible. We're truly magicians.
So when you first started out, though, was it just the rapping? Because, you know, we going to get into all this because you wear a lot of hats, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you first started, were you just rapping or were you doing the production and mixing and all that, too?
Oh, hell no. I couldn't mix or produce to save my life.
Right.
Man, I actually, growing up, hell, I wanted to be a comedian.
Okay.
I wanted to be... my first talent shows with the Gillum sisters with Jen and Peggy, which I love dearly. Family, I used to tell jokes. And then, of course, started getting in trouble. And I felt like, even back then, I didn't understand. I just knew that things I wasn't connecting with people. It was resonation. Like, nothing was resonating. So, starting out, the trades of producing and mixing really wasn't a thing. It wasn't until, and I won't name him because I'll save face, but there was a local producer that my aunt wanted to put money behind me. There was an opportunity came about. We used to have, I know y'all remember, we used to have Dr. Love back in the day. 92.7, they used to come to Holly Springs for Mixtape Wednesdays. And really, besides Ben, shout out to Ben, Ben Matthews, and Jabo used to make drinking songs all the time. Really, Oxonians used to win Mixtape Wednesday a lot. Like, I remember Platinum P won it.
Yeah.
I remember y'all won it.
Yeah.
I remember Kenny and them won it.
Yeah.
Untamed. And then My Crown, we won it.
Yeah.
And shit, we ended up actually before My Crown, a guy named Terrence Booker, we won it with a group we had, UND. And we ended up going to Atlanta for the Olympic Park performances and whatnot. And I just kept in touch with Dr. Love. And with My Crown, we did it again. And, you know, we had the Boosie thing at Dreamland back then. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't until then when I started producing, because I had a producer tell me an absurd amount of money for a beat. Like, you know, back then, we didn't know any better. Yeah. I went to this cat, man, and my aunt was like, you know, I'll give you $2,000 to do what you need to do to make this music pop. And I was like, bet. So in my mind, I was like, I'm going to take 500 of it and put it behind the music, and I'm going to flip the other 1,500. Like, sadly, you know, that was my mindset. Mm-hmm. And I went to him, and Buddy was like, yeah, man, you can give me $2,000 down for the beat. I was like, $2,000? What you mean? He was like, yeah, you know, and then we finished the song, you give me the other $2,000. So I was like, oh, I got to hear the beats. I'm expecting to hear, you know, what I've been hearing on the radio, you know, because I'm a huge T.I. fan. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, man, I just hope he got something that Tip, because I love Tip production back then. Like,
can you name the producer? You don't want to name?
I ain't going to put him out there.
Okay, keep going.
I ain't going to put him out there.
All right.
That, I ain't going to even say what I was about to say. He know.
Okay.
And, man, that Joker, man, I heard the beats, and I'm like, shit, I can make this myself.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
And he was like, well, good luck. Man, I went to Walmart, bought a Dell computer, definitely stole Fruit Loops because it was cracked on the CD.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know what I was doing. My cousin already had Fruit Loops, so I was a little familiar with it.
Yeah.
And then when I was in high school, I used to watch Vito Jack make beats.
Man,
How about
and that boy that brought back a legendary name, boy.
My dog. I used to leave. I mean, I'm in alternative school, so when bro would leave school, I just go with him. This is when he was living in on College Hill. Mm-hmm. We go to the College Hill crib, or we would go to Mondu's crib. Shout out Oscar Love, Brittany Wood.
Yeah.
Right. And that back in them days, I know y'all remember this Hot Like Fire. Burn worse than the flames. Shout out LCB, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know that we had that rocking. He had them Oxford Chargers state bound.
Yep.
Doing it. This was this time period.
Right.
So we were really all just stepping into the bounds of what we were going to be doing as artists. And yeah, man. I started making beats then on FL, and they were ass. They were complete ass. But I stuck with man. Oh man, them days.
Stock FL styles.
My
boy.
God,
they just don't understand.
No drum kits, no VSTs, just stock FL. You got the Wasp, the Citrus, the Boo bass, the Slayer guitar, and hope that vintage 808 kit do you right. Because your BD and your BD2 is the only drums you have.
Yeah,
we had to start there.
Right,
like literally. But, you know, over time, obviously, started learning. And then the production hit in college. I lost, I took some big losses. And, man, I had this dream that I was playing piano for my best friend, Rodney Lockhart. He had just got killed. And he was in there telling me I was ass on the piano in the dream. Mm-hmm. And my grandmama was like, because I had just lost her too. And she was like, baby, just keep playing. And I was playing Rihanna's Unfaithful. The next morning, I skipped class, went to the piano room, pulled out my phone. I had a pocket PC at the time. Downloaded Unfaithful off LimeWire and played it. Can't make it up. And that started the whole piano journey. And that tightened up the production. That made me become who I am now. It just made me hungry. Mm-hmm. Because I started putting the pieces together. The theory, the whys, the modular movements, you know, all of that. It just started making sense. So, and then from there, man, it's just a whole thing opened up to where it's just a whole, I call it the Gordon verse. The whole Gordon verse opened up. Everything that involves me growing as an artist started happening, you know.
Right. So getting into the Gordon verse, we gotta talk about My Crown in the formation of that. My Crown and going into My Crown music groups.
Oh man.
So let's talk about them days because you know, how did that all come about?
Oh man, it was a crazy time.
Right.
So with My Crown, I was burnt out on the approach of the boy bands. Right, mm-hmm. I never wanted to be one of those guys. Like, man, the boy band thing, that ain't me. Like, how about we just have a group of niggas who code, everybody code at what they do, and they don't go their own separate way. We just under the same roof. And my little brother, of course, it was the original. It was me, Jay Jones, mm-hmm. Matt McClain, Teddy B. And we had just went and got Santee Redmond.
Right.
That's the original four.
Right.
That's the bare bones original four. We started making a little noise, oddly, because we had some songs that were, you know, I remember the first song me and Teddy B made that got a little notoriety was a song called Mr. Beat It Up. Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
Made that FL classic. We made it right there in Abbeville, Mississippi. At the crib, at Mom's crib. Then Santee came along. We made a song called The World Is Ours. And Santee, to elaborate on him, bro, T-Red, I give him his flowers. His approach, he had this strong East Coast delivery with Southern articulation. Mm-hmm. So you had me right here who was slow and steady, T.I. emulated because I love to set up my lines. And then you had Teddy B producing the tracks. You had Jones doing all the hooks for us. And you had me and Red trying to tear each other head off each verse. Like, right. We would literally hear verses be like, oh, hell no. I'm finna go back and change mine. I got something for your ass. and it would do that for a week before we even printed a song on a CD. And we started our movement then. Back then, honestly, I can say Shiggy was original too, because that's fam, it's little cuz.
Mm-hmm.
So he was there from the beginning of everything. Honestly, back in the days when we were going to church, he and I used to record on a damn tape recorder.
Mm-hmm.
It was a tape recorder we recorded on, and we were, we got in trouble for that because we was wiping real songs off tape, recording over them. so
yeah.
So that was that. But yeah, he's always been around. That's fam. And, he always has been. He always will be. We bump heads every day, but that's the regular. But with that, with saying that, with My Crown, the biggest thing was we wanted something that could compete with what was to come, because we knew it was so many of us hitting that rapping journey that in Oxford, at least in Oxford by itself.
Folks just don't know how tough it was.
Oh, man.
The competition back
then.
Man.
Right? And you got to think, you had to really be that, because social media back then wasn't what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
You had Facebook was invite only. Black Planet was the only place you could really just be reckless. You had Tag, but it was brand new. You had HubSpot. We wasn't fucking with that.
Right.
And there was another one that we had, but we was like, we ain't doing it. So you had to really be out here. And we was in a heavy mixtape unit era, meaning you print off your CD, you write the name on it, and you'd sell it for $2 to $5.
Mm-hmm.
That's how people heard your music. So it wasn't I can just upload this tomorrow and let everybody hear it. Hey, go fuck with my mixtape. It was, hey man, we gotta go buy these blank CDs. We gotta burn them off on our computer. Back then, I'm being honest, I didn't know shit about mastering. I barely knew about mixing.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew what sounded decent, right? So levels weren't right. So you had the car test. Man, we went through 20 CDs just on the car test. Like, damn, it still don't sound like they stuff. So you gotta go back and tweak it again. And we had a crack version of FL, so once you finished the beat, it was done. You couldn't go back and fix it. Not until later when we bought it. So we just started the movement, man. We solidified it. We started doing any local events we could, talent shows, capstone projects, even one time. The spot that used to break an artist that nobody talks about in Oxford, that fucking student union. Oh man, you get to that student union, right? Because back then Greeks used to have their probates at the Johnson Commons,
right?
So everybody would be either upstairs or downstairs at the union for open mic night that the Greeks hosted, and then you'd move over later in the week to the Johnson Commons, and if you was popping enough, they let you rock the mic for a little bit, Mm-hmm. So we got in good back then with that, with like frats. Shout out to all of the Divine Nine, because we've had our chances with all of them, and we've done good business with all of them. So, and the My Crown lifestyle, we used to call it live fast, die slow. It was a lifestyle. We wanted to be known for not being a boy band, not being a group, but just a bunch of niggas who was cold at what they did. No drama. We never really had drama with anybody. That wasn't us. It was always about having a good time. And yeah, I think we really helped catapult the culture alongside of our peers. We had GME.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, you had Northside. Shout out to Juice and Fly and them, Naughty One.
Yeah, Naughty One. Yep.
You had Platinum P. Shout out Candy now. You had GME. Shout out Fury, J.E.,
mm-hmm.
C Green, TK. Tally, like all of us. Then you had My Crown, which was our group, which later grew. We added Shad, Marley.
We gonna get in there too.
Yeah.
We gonna get into that transition too.
Yeah, man. So it. Oh man, I can't forget Bonkers, man. Gio, Travis, because he was with Platinum P back then, but he's always been. That's the brother. It's just, and of course LCB. And then you had the Piranhas, you had Untamed, which later turned into the Stooges, which in actuality, man, we all set the construct and foundation of what a lot of these young artists don't know today. Like we actually almost did something that a lot of cities couldn't do. Create a market, sustain a market, and catapult it. If I knew back then what we had,
Yeah.
with the mindset that I have now,
Right.
oh man, it would have been a conglomerate.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It should have been more collaboration back
Yes.
then. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, because we should have been putting up the infrastructure back then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basefield did it. You know,
They did.
Basefield did it.
And you can see it now still.
Yep. Basefield did it.
Yeah. Shout out Don Loke.
Shout out Loke, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. Man, Lokzart is, oh man, he is truthfully the DNA of a lot of Panola County music.
Right.
And you know, if nobody else does, I'm gonna give him his flowers.
Right.
You know, it's because I know the struggle, I know the story, so definitely.
All right. So, with that being said, tell me about these young whippersnappers when it came to background music group. Though, let's talk about that.
Oh my God, man!
Because they set the city on fire, though. We gotta give them that.
Yeah, man. So. Oddly, he probably gonna kill me for this, man. But he know I'm not lying. He the bro, so I'm not. It's all good. No malice. Marley had actually started rapping way before he became My Crown.
Oh yeah, he was
right.
He was doing songs with them way.
You know, so
yeah.
I had put back then. You know, my little cousin Gil, Jay Gil, he and Marley hooped together. Lil D, of course, like all them guys' family, and you know, even back then, Marley was like, he was in high school. He was like, man, I've been writing these rhymes. And he was heavy on Wayne. That boy was heavy on Wayne back then. He came to my crib, man, and recorded a whole, man, listen, I mean, I don't think we mixed neither song. He recorded like 40-something fucking songs that day. He was like, man, I'm going to pay you. I just want to get these just recorded. And, you know, first, you know, Slim, rest in peace. And myself, you know, how could I forget Nook them and Guap Kids? So right. Slim and myself, man, fairly close, such as even Fat Mac. And like with the relationship we had, Shad V originally was fucking with Red Zone 6. That's Fred Nice, shout out to him.
Yeah.
And Tory, shout out to him. Tory Garrison, Teddy B the Prime.
Shout out Prime.
Yeah, they had Red Zone 6 and Shad had a song, and I was like, that shit slept. And T Red was like, man, we're gonna get him to come to the crib, and we're gonna get him to drop on something. And back then, them guys was big on growth, and they saw something in both of them, so we voted. You know, we came to a vote. We used to always do everything structured. We came to a vote by that time, and we voted in the NYCMG guys, cause boy. That's when My Crown changed from My Crown to NYCMG. Originally, they wanted it to be My Crown Money Gang, and you know I wasn't having that shit. I was we are burnt out on the money gangs, and with what we doing, I don't want gang attached to anything because that's a whole other ball game.
See in the future.
Yeah,
you're right.
You know, and my biggest fear was always because amidst all the trouble I had been in. You know, I never wanted it to spill over and to be into something that was federal, you know, anything allegory towards federal.
Right. You had been through your fair share of trouble by the time. So
I was like, look, and then bro was in trouble. Like, you know, Slim was, so I was like, hell no. You know, I don't, especially by this time, everything we've been through, no money gang. We'll say music group. You know, like, if you want the MG on there, we'll say music group, you know. And we pushed for that. So, you know, I'll say this. During that time period, Marley, Shad, and Shig were officially out front on the roster.
Okay.
And boy, them young niggas set shit on fire.
Right.
At the time, Shad was still at Ole Miss. Of course, he still had his ties. I still had all of my ties and everything was coming together. At the time, we were actually shopping around with a couple of major opportunities. I really believe that I didn't see the formation on the business side, and when things were proposed, especially with we had a situation with Maybach, to where they were offering a look. This is when Ross I guess he had just got his first big bag and he was looking for artists. And we oddly had somebody in that camp, in that circle that I was familiar with. DJ Santana, shout out to him.
Mm-hmm.
We had the manager of Brent Fayez right now, Ty Baston. Santana, myself, Prime, and Fred Nice created a small production group called the Montanas. And what we were doing we were trying to get placements. Because back then, you know just as well as I do, the placement market had struck. And I had already had ties to the camp that was around Dricky. I don't know if y'all remember Dricky Graham.
Yep.
Also, right before Don Tripp was finna release, had ties to him. Had ties to Ari before he was the engineer he is now. Shout out to him. Through Skip and Neil Jones in that studio in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
And had opportunity with CMG also. So I wasn't seeing what could have been. And I definitely wasn't ready to leave everything behind that I had built to go pursue these deals, you know, and yeah, I didn't, I didn't, and you know, we kept my crown strong until eventually everyone is still a family, you know, them guys, my brothers, yep. We all got it inked on us, right. that shit forever, 915 forever, but I'll say, you know, life happened, you know, people started spreading. And I can't do nothing but salute those guys, you know. And then some started their own movements, which I was more than happy to help with.
And looking back now,
mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you would have took one of those opportunities and just made the best out of it? Okay.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Listen, if the rewind machine ever hit, and I landed in that same spot, I would have said, "Look, here's what we're doing. Here's how we're gonna do it." And here's how we're all going to capitalize and benefit from it.
Yeah.
And I think if I would have put it out that way, instead of it looking like, oh, bro, chasing the deal, he leaving us behind. Mm-hmm. If I would have communicated it, we would have all eaten the way we were supposed to eat off of it.
Right.
It's just, honestly, no one saw how the construct of the industry was going to go. No one knew that independency was going to be the next route.
Right.
We all thought major was the way to go. And when you look at major labels, and how things were happening, I started to learn that shit, the artist really ain't the one getting the bag, it's the producer.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now how we get points as a producer? Well, now you got to go through all these hoops. You got the split sheets. You got, am I getting solid points? Am I getting an upfront payment? Or am I getting pop splits? You know, because I didn't even know that was a thing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know, it was so much coming at once to where I didn't have... I put it on me. I have big shoulders. I have broad shoulders, so I carry the weight. You know, I got that from my guy Willie. I carry the weight. Broad shoulders, I carry the weight on that. I should have been more in tune with what the forecasts were, but I wasn't. So my crown ended up, you know, fizzling. And gladly, each guy that had their own movement within them pushed forward with their movement. And once again, I assisted. You know, I definitely assisted. With right. Open arms and gratitude and gratuity, you know, I'm proud of them, and I hope they keep going. I'm always be here to keep going with them.
Right, it's kind of like a no limit kind of situation right now. You know what I'm saying? Like just letting people venture out though. Yeah. You're not holding them back. You know, and letting them do their thing.
Even help them get there. You know, right. Like here's how we do this. Here's how you do that. You know, make sure you don't make the mistake I made right here and do this. Make sure you don't do that. You know, man, I'll say this, bro. We had almost cracked the code. You know, a lot of people don't know we had monopolized the lyric to where we had our own venue.
Right.
I was getting openings for any artist, was performing in front of a lot of artists, right. Getting contacts. It's just I never put it all together. Because when we started that All Black Affair shit.
I want to talk about that. Because that was like, that could have been the future right there as far as like the whole city. Everybody came together. You know, it might have been differences in the past. We don't know. It don't matter. It didn't matter. Everybody came together and helped you push this project, man. The All Black Affair #1, and it packed out
in the summer.
In the summertime.
In June, not July summer when the students are back.
Right.
June summer when no one's here. Oh my God, we had 1,317 people in a venue that comfortably holds 1,200 people. All in one night in Oxford, Mississippi.
And it was structured how it got put together.
Yes.
You can talk about that too.
Man, we collective. Man, how beautiful was that?
Yeah.
We all came together and said, okay, I got the plug on the venue. Here's the framework. Who's willing to do this? Oh, we'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
Who's willing to do that? We'll take that. Who's willing to do this? We'll take that. All right, keep receipts. How much this cost? Oh, man, it didn't cost no this. All right, I got you. How much this cost? All right, it didn't cost. Got you. All right, at the end of the night, I ain't finna be that guy and be greedy. I'm breaking everybody off. You know,
right.
And, you know, the beautiful thing of it was there was no arguing. You know, there was some mishap, but that's normal.
Right.
That's business.
Mm-hmm.
There was no confusion, which is even mishap. Motherfuckers understood what was going on,
mm-hmm.
and we really missed something that nobody saw. That years later, I was like, bro, we could have set it up to where nobody else could host a party unless they bought the day from us.
Mm-hmm.
We could have monopolized the calendar, the whole calendar.
Yeah.
And we could have been the event coordinators for everybody who wanted to throw parties in Oxford. Because don't forget, when All In came, those are my guys. Like, I actually know them. They're my guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we had already had constructs with events at the locker room also at Illusions.
Right.
Because I had ties there with DJs. Shout out to Hype, Blue, all them guys. And we had DJs emerging. Shout out to DJ Pretty Boy and once again DJ Santana.
Mm-hmm.
They got their start off from there.
Right. Right.
So, I don't want to be like I'm the puppet master, but I had hands in on a lot of things, man. And still do. I'm not the type to get out there and put it out there. It's not for me to do that. I've never been that kind of person. That's what's hurt me as an artist. Like if you know, you know. That's how it is. It's always been that way. So, yeah.
All right, to circle back just a little bit, I want to get into how did you start the actual, recording process? How did you get your name out there as an engineer too?
Oh man, I got my heart broke, bro. I sent a demo to a underling of Rick Rubin, and I had a project I had the original Skinny Dipping in Maine. Alright, so this was a Reverb Nation project that had gotten a good bit of traction back then. And the advice that they told me was take it off Reverb Nation, register the music, which is another thing.
Mm-hmm.
B. Ellis, was very vocal on that early on. Like, hey man, register your shit because they be playing it.
He got
everybody on that shit, man.
Yeah,
we gotta get him the props on it.
Yeah.
Man, B. Ellis was like, man, they gonna be playing your shit. Register it, man. Get your money.
Yeah.
So, but this underling said the same thing, right? And I won't name him because he had a very bad experience with them. So I'll leave that alone. And at the time, he was like, Mississippi is about to make a run because there's a guy down there named Critical that we looking at.
Mm.
And I was like, Critical, who the fuck is that? Not knowing it was gonna be Big Crit,
Right.
but so I had ties. Rest in peace, Ren. Lorenz and Wright had me in a lot of circles to where I was getting access. And long story short, they heard my music and was like, man, it sound good, but that shit muddy. It's horrible. It's clipping. It's I ain't these terms they were throwing back. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And Fred Nice and myself had come. He was like, oh man, I seen hooks for Vibe at the time. Vibe was a very prominent producer online. Him,
mm-hmm.
Johnny Giuliano, Superstar O, they were the pinnacle of least beats and hooks. God Almighty.
They were the transition from FL being a play around
yes,
program into taking it serious. Yeah.
Taking serious.
Yeah.
Bro, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because at first, if it was an insult for somebody to say you got a Fruit Loop beat.
Right.
But when them niggas start bringing all them VSTs in, the Nexuses and the Omnispheres and man, that shit sound like a whole different thing. So,
It did.
you know, um, I had to put an engineer hat on because Ari, believe it or not, shout out to my man's, this guy named White Rob. His name's Robert Lawler, but he has artist named White Rob. At the time, his grandmother was the entertainment lawyer for Mr. Mims, which is Yo Gotti.
Okay, right.
All right. So she had a great relationship with Skip, who later had a heart attack, rest in peace. But he owned the studio that Neil Jones owns now, that Ari was the engineer at. And Ari was like, man, your shit gonna need a lot of work, bro. Like, you're not soft clipping your drums, you're not, and there was a lot of things that I didn't know about. And he started putting me on game about like the circuitry, how the boards actually work, why the boards don't clip versus why digital clips.
Yeah.
He started putting me on game difference between the Neve and the SSL. And when I started learning these things, I took that back to the digital setting. And when it started clicking, I started getting the upper hand on, hey, yo, I can take anybody, and as long as the input good going in, and ain't a bunch of artifacts going in, I can make that shit sound like $1 million. I can make it sound good. And you know, later down the line, my mentor stepped in, Cassie. I didn't know he was gonna be a mentor, but Cassie Bonner came in the picture, back from LA, Columbia and Universal, and it really opened up the Gordon verse. That's when the Gordon verse started, cause it was like, nigga, I'm finna be able to do all this shit. I'm gonna be able to sing, be able to write, be able to produce, I'm be able to engineer, be able to do my own artwork, whatever I need to be a one-stop shop to make this label put this check behind me, I'm gonna be. And that's what made that the way it was. Cause we was hungry back then. Like niggas was tired of working. I was working at Campus Walk at the time, I believe. And I was like, man, this shit suck. It's cool, but it suck. I wanna rap for a living. And then we start throwing parties. Like, oh, I got a little money, yay! And you blow that money, man. This shit suck. It's right back. It's right back at the thing, man. So yeah, man. Yeah. That's that.
How did you well, I ain't gonna say transition. How did you start getting into your own albums though? You know what I'm saying? Because I do want to talk about the joint project. I wouldn't say joint project, but you had 2 parts. The 2-part project you put out.
Yeah.
But even before that, let's go back into your first album.
Needing a catalog.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. What I had started noticing was, as much music as we made together, my music wasn't the music that correlated with my surroundings and my peers. Like, I was on a whole nother spectrum by that point in time. And I wanted a collective to where if somebody was looking for Truth Gordon or looking for that lane, looking for that niche, the metadata that made me what I was, they'd have it consistently. I didn't want to be up and down. I didn't want to be involved in any trends. I always wanted to be respected for the art to hit you a certain way. And I also always wanted to where everyone had their own lane and I didn't step in it. All right? Like I'm not a lane crosser. So with guys, and I mean, I'm versatile. Like I have versatility, but I always wanted to make sure. Back then, LCB was lighting shit up with dancing songs. He and Kenny was, man, fucking shit up. Like I even used to jam with Kenny, fucking around straight out of Crenshaw shit, man. Loved it. But I never wanted to step in their lane making the dance songs because I felt like they had it. It was no need for me to try to impede over. When it came to talking about getting money and talking that shit, me and your brother used to have wonderful conversations. Right. Jay used to be like, hey, Jay be like, man, I'm finna drop this. Tally finna drop that. Bet. Y'all dropping on these days, I'll drop on this. Like it.
Yeah.
It was always that. And man, I loved to mold our structure off of how businesses actually ran. Although it's competition, there's still respect.
Yeah.
And there's still honor in what we doing. I'm not finna diss. Why in the fuck would I diss somebody that I see every other day? Like, if we have an issue, we can talk about it. We men. Ain't no need for us to be out here dissing each other on wax or taking shots at each other. That's weird because there's a point in time we all got money together. So I'm going to keep that and romanticize that forever. Pause. So, holding on to that, it always made me create projects to where it was in its own little realm. Like when you heard it, it's like, man, nigga, Truth be on some old shit. This shit jam though. And it'll give you enough street shit. It'll give you enough lyrical shit. It'll give you enough cake and music. It'll give you enough real life shit to where you're satisfied completely. You're nourished when you hear it. And if you didn't, it just didn't resonate with you. But you'd have enough to be like, yeah, man. I mean, it ain't my cup of tea, but that shit straight because the quality good. So you're not even gonna clown or trip about it because it's like shit. Mm-hmm. I just don't rock with the song. The quality fire though. It sounds good. It's just not my thing, and I can live with that. I can live with that 10 times out of 10, 20 times out of 10 actually, 200% of the time. So I always made sure that my projects connected, right? So like you look at Low Tide, Volume 1, High Tide Volume 2, Skinny Dip Volume 3, Red Tides Volume 4. And now we're moving from the whole tide phase because the turbulence in life has hit its highest peak. And that'll go into my next project, which would be 3234. Because there's a downside to having a big heart. There's a downside to showing so much love. The heart can only take so much. And shit, unfortunately for me, my heart failed. Last year I almost died. September 29th, man. September 29th.
So what happened? What happened? Like, how did you have heart failure? What happened with that whole situation?
Man, stress, bro. I'm advocating for all men. Like I'm not knocking anybody on their lifestyle, because that's not who I am or what I do. But I don't have any habits. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I work out fairly a lot. So no, I thought everything was good, and it's just stress, fam. Stress, not sleeping, worried about worrying. A lot of not controlling the controllables. One day, woke up about to go running, about to go work out. I woke up on my staircase about to go running one day, man. My nose was bloody. Told my wife, like, shit, I gotta go to the hospital. We didn't go to the hospital. We went to urgent care. They told me I had high blood pressure. Whoopity do. Get back home, and then it hit. Like, my wife went back to work, and I was like, yo, I'm not here by myself. I'm finna die. Like, it's this feeling, this unreal feeling of someone being there with you, but you can't see them. This presence, this daunting. It's not eerie. It's just this, yo, something is off. I'm about to leave. Shot down mom's crib. Felt like an elephant was on my chest. Moms knew something was wrong because I had it in my mind, like, I'm finna die. So when I die, I'm gonna die at my mom's house in my old bedroom, peacefully, in my sleep. Like I had already pulled that away. That way I'm not home and my sons see me dead, right? So, man, mom's was like, nah, hopped in the bin. She didn't even know how to put it in gear. She was in there punching the gas for like 2 minutes. The car just revving. She finally got it in gear because I slapped it down. And, when we got to the hospital, man, EKGs attached. My heart failed instantly. And that opened a whole new chapter. For 4 nights, in a hospital bed, in and out, back and forth across that line of life. It's a different feeling. It's peaceful. It's not what people think it is. And when you see somewhat of the other side, it opens your mind to a whole other thing. So, from all these projects tying in, I never spoke on those vulnerabilities. I never spoke on, men be up stressing. We're the superheroes. We're the indestructible ones. We're invulnerable. But every Superman and Clark Kent has their kryptonite, bro. Everybody has a weakness. And until you strengthen that weakness, you're only going to pacify your strengths to hide it and suppress it. And that suppression can take a toll on you. And that's what happened with me. There's too many moving parts. I was doing too many things, trying to do too many things, trying to make everything successful. And the mirror shattered.
So with this new project 3234, what do you want to get out?
Oh man, I'm telling the story.
Yeah.
It's everything of how I got there, bro. It's the journey of, the song 3234 itself tells the story of everything, how I was feeling, the exact words I said while I was in the hospital, some of them rather. It tells that makeup of how I got to the heart failure thing, man. And I want to bring my audience with me this time. Like, normally, I soothe the ears. I say lyrical fly shit, make you be like, yeah, bro can rap. That shit nice. I give you hooks. I give you tracks that's a vibe. on this, I want you to come with me. I want you to grab my hand and come through this process with me and experience it. You know, and that's what we tried to capture on it. Because all in all, to go back to the original question, with my bodies of work, if there is ever a day to where you say, I want to listen to Truth Gordon, you are able to hit play, close your eyes, sit back, and lock in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on autopilot. You go in cruise control. You ain't got to worry about, man, I'm very avid on Team No Skips. I try to make all my shit no skips. And it's going to be skips. Some people are like, I ain't fucking with that song. But I try to make them just no skips. I try to, every project, and I want them to tie in. So you can say, I know this nigga. No, I don't mind spending a little bread to go holler at him. I don't mind, going on live to support him. I don't mind to support the artist he's giving me hints to go listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Build that trust. You build that bond with the audience, because we're nothing without them. Like, it kills me when niggas be like, I don't care if they fuck my shit or not. Yeah, you can feel that way, but you need to listen to, like, that's the issue with oversaturation now. Too many niggas making music for themselves.
Mm.
It's not ours anymore. When we put our babies out there, our songs,
Mm-hmm.
it's time for them to go into the world and grow and interact so people can come back to us, the creator. If not, shit, doing it for ourselves, we killing the market. Killing the market.
Right. So what do you feel like, just say, overall, what have been the biggest struggle for you as far as music industry goes? And tell on the adverse of that, what was your biggest success?
Oh, my biggest success was learning that it's business. Like, nothing changed until I learned that, hey, this is actual business.
Mm-hmm.
Because my biggest flaw, my biggest F up is neglecting the business side of it. Too often do we become hobbyists in this thing. We use streams as a scale of popularity,
right,
versus a scale of leverage. The streams can't pay you.
Right.
It's 3/10 of a penny.
Right.
Fuck you gonna buy with that?
Yeah.
Right. But it's leverage. Because when you look at worth and how you can scale that business, like on the business side, you can say, I have engagement from this many individuals. Let's put a product in front of them.
Right.
Right. And now it becomes a numbers game. Like, when I used to teach in my professional life, when I was teaching people how to sell, you tell them it's a numbers game. You close 35% of the people you see, you're successful. Right? Well, think about it. If you have 20,000 streams and you get 35% of that, that's right at 7,000 people, or a little bit over 7,000 people. If you can put something in front of them,
yeah,
and they buy,
right,
$10 a piece, that's 70 grand.
Right.
Fuck them streams. You got an audience. So, learning that, and that's what's killed me, because in the past I didn't care about any of that. I just wanted that whole, I wanted my journey to be heard. I wanted you to rock with me. And here I was in my day job selling, being a top 3 salesman in a company, not even correlating that with the music side. And that was my biggest failure, because I didn't start putting the pieces together until later, which it worked out perfectly, because if I would have had all that money when I was young, I would have self-destructed. I would have definitely fucked some shit up. It wouldn't have been good. So it all worked out for the better. But that's free game for artists now. Leverage yourself. Like, it's cool to make the content. It's cool to brag on your streams. It's cool to do all that. But if you're not putting things in front of your audience and capitalizing off of it, you're not making any money. And if you need help with it, I'll help you. It's
right.
Now it's a fee attached to that. Now it's a fee attached to it, but we can package it all up for you. You can come record here. I always send Fury business. Shout out to Fury.
Yeah.
Hey, man, go holler at my man's more quality.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he probably get tired of me sending guys to him. I'm going to keep sending them. Hey, man, go holler at my man's. We put a package deal together for you. He and I can come up with something.
Yeah. So, okay. what do you feel like, or how should they utilize? Because you can't get around social media. You got to do it now.
You got to do it.
So how do you feel like they should utilize social media to get a bigger impact when dropping a song or project?
Oh man, so it's a whole process, and
Hey, don't give them too much.
No,
I
was about to say, it's a whole process. Yeah, man. And I don't want to come off as gatekeeperish because I'm being completely honest when I say it's different for every artist. It really is. Yeah. It's not a one size fit all, and I see it all too often to where people are like, hey, consult with me. I can put it's not a one size fit all,
right?
Because the data is key. Like you gotta pull the data. Mm-hmm. You gotta know who's who. You gotta know where they are. You gotta know. Yeah, the analytics is everything. And that's where somebody like me kicks in because I'm an analytical person. I'm an analytical guy. I'm a numbers guy. People don't know this, but I was CFO of a company for 3 years. So you got to understand that's what I do. Pro formers, forecast, where are things going to be financially and fiscally? How does it break down? How does it amortize if we're pulling capital from other sources? Mm-hmm. So with all of that being said, if you're putting out a single, the first thing you need to understand is that it's a process and the work starts before you record the song.
Duh.
Because you got to know who you are. And that knowing who you are is the coldest, hardest reality because the problem is a lot of guys have pseudo numbers. And what pseudo numbers are is they probably went and bought followers. They have bot followers. Mm-hmm. So their data is skewed.
Yeah.
And when you look to where you need to promote, I'll say this. Shout out to Wendy Day because there was a point in time. Yeah, man, there was a point in time while I was interacting with her. Shout out to Bigger Rankin because a lot of people don't know my single Fadeaway was hosted by Bigger Rankin and Rap Juggernaut Kingpin. Shout out to him. Mm-hmm. A lot of unknown things because once again, when I had these opportunities, I wasn't flowing them like I should have been. So a lot of people don't even know about a lot of this shit. But in all actuality, when you look at your numbers or who you are, because I went and cleaned up my Instagram a couple of years ago, like, who the fuck, this fucking bot page? You know, let's say, in theory, we're going to throw numbers out. Let's say someone has 10,000 followers on IG. They have 5,000 max on Facebook. They don't have an artist page on Facebook, just a regular Facebook page. The 5,000 people on Facebook is worth 2,000. And I can't get into why. You will have to come see me for that. But each platform allows a threshold of how many of your followers they let through. Mm-hmm. All right?
Right.
Now, those 2,000 on Facebook are real people. Mm-hmm. And probably 1,000 of them know you. So that can help you or that can hurt you. But you have to focus on the 1,000 that don't know you first.
Right.
Because you got to show them who you want to be. You know? As an artist, you got to show them who you want to be because other people know you already.
Right.
So that's where you're going to either get your hate or your dick riding. It's either or. It ain't no in between. It's either going, man, he ain't like that. I know him. Or it's going to be like, yeah, that's my dog. He really that. That's the only way it can be. On IG, though, that 10,000, if 3,000 of those followers are fakes and they threshold 2,500 through, if that 2,500 happens to be those fakes, you have no audience. None. Right. So now, when it's time for you to sell to somebody, those 400 likes don't mean shit if you can't put something tangible in front of them to get capital and revenue. And that's why engagement is so important. Because engagement weeds out the real and the fake.
Right.
And there's other steps to this, but I ain't going to say shit. You're going to have to come see me for it. And you have to sit right here with me and Fury and talk about it, and then the other teams to put you on the path because it's really a lot of work. And the hardest workers don't always win. You can work hard and wrong.
Yeah. I equate that to just say you go to the gym every day, right?
Yeah.
But you only in there, you do your little 15 minutes of this, 15 minutes of that, and you wonder why you're not seeing results because it's not structured in the right way.
And then guess what kills them, Fury? They've been going to the gym, getting that time, man, telling themselves, I'm good. I can go home and eat this.
Yeah.
And don't do the nutrition.
Right.
That's what this is.
Yeah.
That's what this shit is.
Right.
That's what this is. So, man, I'll say that was what plagued me. I hated posting on social media. And then when I was posting, I was being a sarcastic narcissist who was trying to get jokes off every 5 minutes and just diluting my page with the wrong content. And then when it's time for me to release songs, luckily, and I thank you, Oxford, Bakersfield, Holly Springs, my whole area within a 150-mile radius. To the Midwest, I love you. Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, and then to the southeast states, thank you, Bigger Rankin, because Alabama, Georgia, and even South Carolina a little bit. When I go look at my data, when I release, I have a core following of about 6,000 fans. That those dots are the same every fucking time. So I know exactly what content to put out. Because I don't want to piss them off making new shit. They've been loyal. So, I say that to say, now when I put up anything music related, it resonates. Like I get the engagement because one, it's not that frequently, but two, people know when I put it up, they know the content coming. So as for artists, don't make the same mistake I made. Don't. Learn who you are. Learn your analytics. And you're going to need help. You're going to need a team.
Yeah.
They sold us out this whole get it out the mud. I did it by myself shit. That shit fake. You don't ever believe that.
Right.
That's the whole illusion of the music industry. And I can't even say industry because technically I was never involved in the industry. Not as far as where I should have been. So I'll say from the things I know now, what's underneath the hood of it all, come to the people that can really help you get to where you're trying to be. Otherwise, you're going to work hard for nothing. You're going to work hard the wrong way. It happens. It's just the reality of it. You can't do this shit the wrong way. You can. You can post a million times and not get anything out of it. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, look, being, we from Mississippi, I always got to ask everybody who come in here. You got to give them your Mount Rushmore top 5 artists coming out of Mississippi.
That is crazy. Oh, man. Well, I'm going to always be biased on this one, man. Because a lot of people don't know. Yeah. Player Fly #1. He from Santopia.
Yeah.
Player Fly.
Yeah.
You looking at somebody who went head to head with a juggernaut, 3-6, and withheld it and pushed through it. My next, of course, I'll say Crit. Because of the things that Crit did, how it sounded, and the opportunity. Shout out to Shaka, shout out to multi-alumni and Crit, man. Thank y'all for everything y'all did. And what's understood and gotta be explained, because I ain't gonna get into all that. Number 3, I'm gonna go with Banner. Simply because people forget that Banner project was rocking. Like, that first John, I ain't talking about Godbox. Godbox was cool. I'm talking about the first Banner John, 03. He had shit on fire.
Yeah.
He had shit on fire. That whole project was slapping. And even before that, he was rocking. And then the production aspect.
Yeah.
You can't knock the doors that Banner opened. And so Banner on that. After that, it starts to get cloudy because there's a lot of rappers from Mississippi who don't claim Mississippi. And although the mishaps of what things may have transpired, the biggest rapper in the world, probably the most famous rapper ever, is from Macomb, Mississippi, and that is Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Snoop from the SIP. Now, he claimed Cali, but that talent is rooted from Mississippi.
Yeah.
It's rooted from Mississippi.
And I was just saying, Daz, not to cut you off, I just want to talk about that while we on the subject. Daz Dillon just bought that house down.
He here.
Yeah.
He's here.
Yeah.
The roots are strong, man. Yeah. The roots are strong in the SIP, and people don't even want to claim it. Now, after Snoop, I gotta give. Man, it's gonna be odd because a lot of people probably don't expect me to say this. But as far as for where we are and for what they did, man, them kids went on a strong run, man. That's Ray Shrimmer.
Oh, yeah.
They went on a strong run, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I saw their grind. because you got to remember the interaction of what they were doing is the same time Blueprint and Marley was doing what they were doing, trying to discover and get to where they were. So we were seeing them. Hell, Blue was the one throwing the car shows.
Right.
That they used to perform at.
Right.
You know, a lot of people don't know this.
Yeah.
Eardrum happened because of P Nasty. He's from Tupelo.
Yeah.
Tupelo, man. You know, so, you know, although I don't know P Nasty like that, you know, interacted with Ray Shrimmer. Shout out to JJ Burks and Mahaney. Deck the halls. Woo. Performed there.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2013, I believe. And I performed Flagrant. And they wanted to get on stage. It was right before they did No Flex Zone. And I was like, man, I'm with it. Just in case. And my dog was happening. It was a long story, but we were doing Deck the Hall parties. The next fucking year, they were gone.
Right.
They were Ray Shrimmer.
So they was out of state boys at the time then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So man, it's a very small circle, but it's a broad thing. But I'll say this, and people be laughing when I say it. You know, I'm waiting on Akeem Ali to break.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think he's gonna take it over from everybody.
Yeah.
It's just he has too much charisma. I just don't know if they're gonna perceive him well. You know, but lyrically, I put him up there with me. But I'm being serious, you know. Like lyrically, right. he said some shit that I'd be like, boy, that's something I would have said. Or I listen to some things and say, I'm like, yeah, that was nice. Like I didn't see that angle coming. I didn't see that setup coming. So I think Akeem Ali is gonna be the overall, especially in this era because it's so overly saturated.
Yeah, let's talk about that too, though. I want to tell me about. It ain't got to be 5, but just tell me who do you think I'm gonna be the next heat coming out of Mississippi, though?
Akeem Ali for sure.
Yeah.
I think Mississippi is gonna ultimately be an R&B state.
Okay.
Because you got old girl T from up. She has the AI artist, but people are forgetting about Kenya, aka Girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Right. She's gonna have a very strong movement. Once Rocket gets her feet under her, the girl who wrote I See You for Coco Jones.
Shout out to man.
She from Water Valley.
Long ties with Kiki the singer. Y'all don't understand, man. So back in the day.
So yeah, I really believe that and I got an artist I'm working with right now, man. Does indie right here out of Oxford, man. Went viral about 4 years ago. Eric D.
Shout out Eric D.
Man, yeah. Eric D. Some stuff that we're working on right now is really gonna shake up the table. Like it's indie, but it's some fly shit. He has his own genre, and I'm not gonna speak on too much because y'all gonna steal our shit. But the stuff he has coming out is gonna shake up the table because he can rap. He can. But the stuff that he's making is so vibrant that I think he's going to shake it up. I think he's going to resurface. Because, contrary to belief, my boy, we can put numbers up against anybody. 600 million streams and counting.
Yeah.
Out of Oxford.
Right.
So, you can say what's tried and true, what doesn't work, what does. But I can tell you what our team doing. And that kid is going to be something. He's going to be a force to reckon with. Baseball went on a strong run. It's just a lot of wave of artists down there that's making some noise.
Right.
You know, shout out to Trent and all of them.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of artists from the Panola County area.
Shout out to GV too.
Yeah, GV for sure.
Yeah.
The Coastline. There was some guys that Dear Silas had under him.
Yeah.
You know, shout out Dear Silas.
Dear Silas. For sure.
Dollar Black done moved on me. He ain't in the SIP no more. But shout out to my brother, man, Dollar Black. He and I did some great work together. Dollar Black had a strong run. He's still working. Sync placements. Dollar Black was on ESPN, baby.
He was.
All day. Shout out Super J. Shout out to Swole, Martin Wright. I got my little ESPN run. Woke up screaming at Toddy. That was fun. But I'll say this. Right now, with the artists that are working, all of them have a chance to be above everybody I just named. And it's because it's all on them. There's nobody pulling the strings. As much as we like to say, man, if you get in the majors and they put that machine behind you, man, the machine ain't nothing but a bunch of numbers. That's all the machine is. So You know, I could go on for days naming these artists because, in all honesty, all of us and all of them have had stints to where we've made some significant noise somewhere along the
Right.
lines. You know, that's why when I see these lists, I laugh at them because they're subjective to time frame.
It is.
You know,
It is.
I could easily name Killer Crew because they had songs with Fly when Fly was at his top, at his peak. And they right here out of Oxford also. And they had distribution deals to do hard copies.
Right.
Which was something hard to do back then.
Right. Get them real tapes and
bro.
CDs back then.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, they in the music store. I used to go to Sound Shop and see Killer Crew. You know, that wasn't a mom and pop. That was an actual, establishment that was in a mall setting. That wasn't local distribution, And for us to be right down the street from Memphis, that was a very hard thing to do. So I'll say that the guys that I named are just those. That's my opinion. That's my take.
Yeah.
Of course, I got fam and everybody who doing their thing, and I really think they gonna catapult. Shiggy done started his MG movement.
Right.
Marley still has his movement. Of course, you still have. I'll never let GME die. Y'all still gonna work.
Right.
My crown, we're gonna resurface because my son is on his way.
All right.
Prince Bo Carter.
Yeah.
Sponsored by the Boys and Girls Club. We've been to 4 major cities. We stop in New Orleans next. My son has been to Atlanta. He's been to North Carolina. He's been in, we went to Tupelo. It's not a major city, but the crowd was major. It was like 1,100 people there. So, to have a 10-year-old coming out, it's go time. So I'm going to put a lot of that energy and knowledge and resource behind my son and let him do what he's going to do. Of course, my project is coming, and this time around, I'm not leaving any witnesses. I'm coming for everybody. Listen to me. I'm coming for everybody. Everybody. Nobody's safe. Don't forget that.
So, now with that being said, are you looking to sign any more artists? Like, are you trying to build the resurgence of My Crown?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And oddly, the way I'm going to do it is every brother that's My Crown that we done had our disagreements, niggas shut up and let's sign these new artists and give them the game and keep the legacy going. Rule with an iron fist but with compassion because there's a lot of guys who really do need a chance. And there's a lot of talent that needs molding. That's what the industry really missing right now. And I really feel like if we do it, if we stop chasing the numbers and we get artists and we see who they want to be and we mold them to be that, we can't be stopped. That's why Drake sustained so long. That's why Chris Brown sustained so long. They had development. And when they were developed to be who they were going to be, hey, they still here, aren't they?
Right.
They still here when others come and go. So, I just really think music is going to go back to that. Like, I think the drill music is dying.
Yeah.
I think the slide culture is dying. It's so bad now, hell, we going to bonfires doing country soul.
Right.
So,
right.
so it's on its way back, and then, I'm always looking for artists. Now I'm a lot wiser. So, I tell everybody up front, take care of your assets. Always cover your assets. Here's how you do it. But I'm always looking for artists to help mold and get a legacy too. Because at heart, even when I stop rapping, even when I stop talking my shit, I'll continue to sing and make R&B. I'll continue to produce tracks. I'll continue to write. I'll continue to engineer. And that doesn't need to go to waste. So, I got an odd thing. I watched an interview. Prince once said if he don't use an idea, God was going to give it to Michael Jackson. No, it's the other way around. Michael Jackson said if he didn't use the idea, Prince, God was going to give Prince.
Right.
I feel the same fucking way.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's energy. Like, it's certain things I be thinking about when I don't do it and I hear it. I be like, why didn't I make that shit when I said I should? Big X the Plug done took like 30 beats I had in my head. That feeling like Dennis, I got proof, and Seto is my witness, that him, Flip, made a song in 2011 to that same beat. I made it way back then. And I know because I was going to sell it to Crit. And Crit had already had the same beat.
Okay.
That's why I didn't sell it to him.
Right.
So I got proof of it. Man, it'd be so many tracks and shit down sample that, or created. And I hear it and be like, hey. Man, I had a couple times niggas have stolen from me, but I ain't going to even get into that. Major artists, too. Major artists. So, beware.
I think just talk about Big X a little bit. We ain't got to get into too much. I just feel like a lot of people resonate with him because he sound like the whole South. If you think about it.
Facts. The tonality of his voice, the dialect, and his delivery. Some, and then he punch record. So you getting that full word out. You got to remember, man. I might not need to say this because then I'll be giving them sauce. I'll say it. Fuck it. Your goal when you make a song is for people to be able to goddamn sing it or rap it with you.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not about how complex you can be.
Right,
it's about the simplicity.
Yes.
So like when you hear somebody say something and it just sticks with you, I ain't gonna say that part because that's gonna.
I think Nelly talked about this a lot because everybody was saying when Nelly first came out, he did nursery rhymes.
Yeah,
he was like, that because people Future said the exact same thing.
You know it, bro. You know it.
You already heard this tune in your head 1,000 times.
And now
but I'm just saying it in different ways.
Just saying different ways, different words.
Different words, yeah.
And you know that melody. That's why, man. That's really why publishing the way it is, like interpolation, like a melody can get you sued quicker than goddamn sampling a song.
Right.
Like if that melody prevalent, shit, they'll light your ass up, on interpolation.
Right.
So, yeah, man, it's a lot of knowledge that goes into that, but they resonate with X because of that, like the dialect, the tonality, the tone, the timbre of his voice,
right,
is and the way that he's delivering. That motherfuckers will say certain parts. That's their part of the song. That's their shit. They riding down the work road, and killing everything mine. They put emphasis on mine, not knowing that was the goal in the first place.
Right.
You said it that way so people would say it.
Right.
So I mean, man, come get developed, man. Come
right.
get developed. Come holler. Come get developed. If you want to be the next star, I can't give you the success on how to do it. I can tell you what not to do to make you twice as successful though. I promise you I can. Because the opportunities have been there and I can tell you what not to fuck up because I definitely did it. But man, I'll say this though, man. I think with the way the music going, we finna get some real artists back. And I'm excited. Because I'll be a part of that wave before I call it quits on rapping and just start singing to y'all aunties and mamas.
Right.
Because that R&B wave, killing shit with R&B.
And speaking of R&B, I want to give a major shout out to Kirby.
Oh yeah, shout out Curbs.
For sure.
Shout out to Curbs, man.
Very unique style she got and voice and look about her. Like
I got somebody coming forward though.
Okay.
I got a young gun coming forward, Reginetta Mix.
All right.
Reginetta Michelle, she nice. She's on my project. She's on 3234 on a couple of songs. Man, she very talented. So trust me. Curbs dope though. I can't hold you. Curbs hella dope. Feel good to have somebody that dope repping the state.
Right. Very unique sound with her.
Shout out to Jamal too, the American Idol winner.
Oh yeah.
I forgot, but I can't. I don't even know why I forgot him. He dope. He dope. So yeah.
So when are you expecting this project 3234 to drop?
Ooh. Y'all gotta follow my socials, man.
Okay.
Truth Gordon 915 on everything. Truth Gordon 915. I'll be actually going live on IG and TikTok soon, cause we gotta wrap up the visual to Divided We Fall. Divided We Fall is a political song. It starts out saying guns outside, get down, hands on your head, everybody look around. So it's pretty much showing both sides of a spectrum, cause the opening line starts out saying. Now I ain't gonna tell you what the open line starts saying. You gotta listen to it. I'll go live. We'll listen to the song. I'll give you the release date. Because when we wrap up the visual, that's when I'll start shooting links to pre-ordering and pre-saving the project itself. And yeah. I'm also gonna do a raffle, man. I think I'm gonna do a raffle for 3 names for a $150 gift card. Off of pre-saves. We have a target of hitting 3,000 pre-saves. That's half of my standard following. And we'll just go from there, And if you share the link, that ups your chances of getting a raffle. So we're going to do that. And man, give back a little bit.
All right. Now, before we get up out here,
Mm-hmm.
just tell everybody how you want to be remembered after every, it's all said and done.
I want to be remembered as the truth, man. Like, and when I say that, I mean it in the most subtle form. Obviously, there's a lot of things I've had my hands in on, a lot of glue that I've interacted as, and it wasn't for glorification. It was actually for sustainability and growth and propulsion. So when I leave here, I want that same thing. I want you to remember me as the guy that not only did it, but who didn't really do it for recognition. He did it for a real cause, and that was for the growth and the opportunity. Um, you know, and that right there is all I can ask for. I can't wear the name Truth Gordon and live a lie.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
That's who I am in every bit of its essence, and that's what I'm gonna continue to be. And that's why I want to be remembered as. You walk down the street, be like, yeah, man, nigga, Truth, man, his word, he really about that shit he was saying, and that's why I go with a positive approach because, that's what I want you to hold on to. That's what I want you to romanticize. So, yeah, man, that's simple. Truth. You remember me as truth. I lived as truth. Remember me as truth.
And there you go.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Man, we appreciate you coming through.
Oh,
man, I enjoyed the history lesson. It just take me down. It's like a sense of nostalgia talking about all this.
Listen, I hate that I pulled so much of that time, but people have to know, man. Thank you for having me. It was an honor.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, man, I'm grateful for everybody I've interacted with and people that I'm going to interact with, man. I'm going to keep shining, keep grinding. And yeah, bro, thank you for having me here. I can always give you back your money, but never your time. Right. So I'm double grateful.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Well, all right, we're going to get up out of here.
All right.
All right.